Who do you think you are?
There's no need to be so prim. I come in peace.
Welcome back to the show formerly known as Idoloonies and now known as Idology.
They look exactly alike to me.
We've decided we're going to change our name every year until we're picked up by Fox, and I'm replaced by Brian Dunkelman and Jacob Lusk. If you haven't seen the show before, and we know you have, J-Lo, Idology takes a geek dive into the previous week of the greatest show on television, American Idol. We look at the best and worst performances, the reasons we love and mostly hate the judges.
We came! We won!
And what Uncle Nigel is plotting behind the scenes.
See you in hell.
Melinda, I thought it was really nice that season 11 of Idol kicked off with a reminder that the kids that were in diapers back when you were auditioning for Idol are now this current crop of contestants.
It felt great, really. It really, really did. For them to just solidify the fact that I'm old now. It was awesome.
Going into this Idol season, there's been a lot of complaining that only white guys with guitars can win. And then the season premiere kicked off with Phillip Phillips, who's white, who's pretty hot, and who plays the guitar. It's sort of like that Beyonce song, Who Runs the World, and instead of shouting girls, it's like white guys, which doesn't sound as fun, but
with guitars.
Is it dangerous to try and lump all those guys together? Does it concern you as we head into the season? Because it makes me a little skittish.
I don't think it's fair to kind of lump them all together is the only thing, because David Cook and Scotty McCreery could not be more different in my head.
Yeah.
I mean, Phillip Phillips to me is not like any one of them at all.
Phillip does have a different vibe. There's something kind of swampy about his sound. I don't know if that makes any sense, and I don't know if it's because it's where he's from, or if it's the accent.
More naked and ready, just put clothes on me.
Or the little bit of chest hair that was coming out of his plaid shirt.
I think it was the flip-flops, actually. I think that's what it was, but I will say that his first song, I was kind of like, what exactly is going on right now?
Yeah.
Very superstitious, oh.
But when he got his guitar and started playing Thriller, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Start to scream, but Sarah takes the sound before you make it.
The guitar playing was sensational. He had a very Rodrigo y Gabriela sound. His singing definitely improved with the guitar in his hand. Right. And I say, you know, at the end of the day, let the best singer win. I think David Cook absolutely deserved to win his season. I think Chris Allen deserved to win his season. Sorry, Adam Lambert fans. Like, if Adam had won, I would have said he also deserved to win. But I think it was neck and neck with those two. And either way, I would have been happy with it. And I think Scotty McCreery did a darn good job in his season, and he appealed to a certain fan base, and he never made any huge missteps. So you can't really argue too vehemently against that win as well. And I think if Phillip Phillips turns out to be the best, most consistent performer who appeals to the widest audience, it can't be held against him. I will say, though, those stylists had better stay away from his chest hair.
That's who you are. That's what you are.
Stay away from it. Did you have a favorite from the first two audition shows?
Oh my goodness, do I ever. Okay, so my favorite, Joy Hop.
Joy hopping.
That's my dance when I'm excited.
Another modern brainwave?
Joy Hop is also my favorite from the first two nights. She did the little, you know, she does it forward, she does it backwards, she did a spin.
My name is Ashley Altis.
She just sang the living daylights out of that song.
He's got choo eyeballs. He won't
She's got a little bit of like a machine gun vibrato, so I don't know if that's gonna like hinder her in other kinds of songs, but during the musical break, her singing the musical break with a little dance to it and everything, like that made it for me.
I think you had a second favorite as well.
The Wedding Singer.
Erica Van Pelt.
You give your love so sweetly.
She was into it and had great inflections.
I thought she tried to do a little bit too much here and there with it. I just wanted her to rein it in, and I wonder if maybe having worked as a wedding singer, you know, she's had to be heard over the clatter of cups and plates being moved away.
As a person that sung at weddings, may I please say that it is not our fault that sometimes we are cheesy. Sometimes the bride and groom ask for cheesy songs, and you still have to deliver it perfectly. So technically it's not her fault. So I'm behind the Wedding Singer.
My other favorite from the auditions was Skylar Dixon. The trumped up drama about sibling rivalry was more manufactured and less authentic than J-Lo driving a Fiat through the Bronx. I mean, it wasn't there.
Like it or not, Skylar shares her big moment with Colton.
There's 1 second where she sort of has like a sort of ambivalent look on her face, and they just capture that. I feel like they're setting her up to be eliminated in the final like top 42 episode. They'll sit the two of them down. Now they've set it up that it's okay that her heart's gonna be broken because she acted stank.
You know that's gonna happen. But she was my favorite audition out of the two.
I fall into pieces, yeah.
Now let's get mean for a minute. If you could have revoked a golden ticket, who would it have been and why?
I would have had to revoke the guy that worked at the prison that quit his job.
With the pregnant wife.
Lullaby of the midnight train.
They have to know that he's probably not gonna make it through even Hollywood week.
No. If I could take away a golden ticket, it's a toss-up for me, but it would probably be Creighton Fracker by just a nose over Reed Grimm. They kind of both come from the same school of slightly affected, slightly jazzy vocal, but Creighton Fracker, it was just all 1-800 too much. When I had, somebody has to tell him, like, rein that in.
I might have to disagree with you on Reed.
Okay.
Just because he's got chops as a jazz vocalist. He kind of had a little Casey on him, and I mean, I'm not saying that he's Casey Abrams because nobody can be my Casey.
I think one thing we noticed watching the first 2 episodes of season 11 was a kinder, gentler Idol, or as I like to call it, a much less annoying Idol. People you weren't sure if they understood how bad they were. The emphasis was really not on them.
I was completely shocked.
Idol stopped making fun of everybody unless you were from Africa.
Of course, would happen to a foreigner.
Or a really hot NBA dancer.
Seeing so many great people and then them just stopping kind of in the middle of it and being like, hey, we're gonna show you this nice African guy, but we're gonna make fun of him.
Are you a runner?
He's auditioning for American Idol.
They spent a lot of time on him just to be like, oh, sorry.
Kids, work on your ears a little bit.
I also thought the whole handling of the NBA dancer was a little odd, and I think the worst part for me was when they panned up from her feet to her chest. And I'm sorry, but Nigel, if you're watching this, I know you were behind that. You basically reduced this woman to legs and breasts and hair. In the show's defense, there was a moment where she wasn't sure if she was getting through, and she sort of did a little zhuzhing of the sweater to make sure that she bared her midriff just one last time.
She did, but I mean, she looks good. I couldn't help it. I was like, wow, I might be just a little bit jealous. So I was kind of with J-Lo and like, yeah, let's not put her through.
She's just trying to balance it out. If the girl's gonna get one yes vote before she opens her mouth,
I say yes.
she should also have a no vote hanging in the balance.
Everything works well when you leave it up to Randy.
Just ask Haley Reinhart.
I thought it was a bad song choice.
I know, dear.
We can't have him assassinated, I suppose.
I also thought a lot fewer sob stories this season. I usually feel like those first couple of episodes, they're really heavy-handed with the woman who was run over by a bus and then the bus backed up and ran her over again.
The closest we came was the young lady that lived in a tent. That one actually kind of got me a little bit.
I've never been dressed this nice before in my entire life.
And then she followed it up with a performance that just, I mean, she felt from her toes.
All my sisters coming together, say yes I will.
It makes me feel bad for saying it, but I was a little bit cynical when Travis Orlando came back. Last year he came in with a story about how his family had lived in a shelter for a while, and this year he came in and was like,
last year, after Idol aired and everything, my mom walked out.
And I was like, did he ask his mom to lay low for 6 months so he'd have a better story and maybe make it through Hollywood Week? Which makes me a terrible person for thinking it.
You wicked creature.
Anna.
The other part that made me skittish was he told the judges he dropped out of high school, and nobody was like, that's a bad idea, Travis.
I dropped out of high school.
Did anybody hear him say he dropped out of high school? Not to bring in a rival show, but when Chris Renee was on X Factor and he brought up drugs, L.A. Reid was like, we can do this as long as you promise to stay clean.
Yes.
I was really expecting somebody to be like, as long as you promise to at least get your GED, if nothing else.
And J-Lo could have sent Randy back with him so he could learn a few more adjectives. It would have really been a win-win, as they say.
I wonder, do they teach the quote thing in high school nowadays?
The great Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Well played, Randy.
We came. We won.
You'll have to forgive him. He's quite simple-minded. Doltish, really.
We saw. We are.